Life, or welcome if this is your first time joining me. I hope you'll stick around and subscribe. And if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment in the comment section. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my easy homemade crock pot meatballs. That's going to be the first recipe. I'll be using popular store brand pasta sauce, but I do have a recipe for homemade pasta sauce. Leave me a comment if you'd like to see a video on how I made homemade pasta sauce. The next recipe I'll be sharing with you is my homemade watermelon lip scrub. I hope you'll stick around. Let's get it started. Okay, let's get started on these meatballs. Here are all of the things that you're going to need for your homemade crock pot meatballs. I'm going to use 1 pound of lean ground beef, 1 pound of pork sausage, breadcrumbs. I'm going to use a can of diced tomatoes. I'm going to use 1.5 cups of mozzarella cheese. I'm going to use 2 eggs. I'm going to use 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. My seasonings will be salt and pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and Italian seasoning. This is optional, but I always like to sprinkle in just a little bit of fresh parsley. I'm going to go ahead and get the meat mixed up, get all of the seasonings added, get the balls rolled up, and when I come back, I'll show you how we put everything together. Okay, I'm back with you. I've got that pound of ground beef and the pound of sausage mixed up. I sort of have a love-hate relationship with meat. I love to eat it, but I hate touching it. So I'm going to be using this tool to mix it up because I just don't want to touch it. I want to eat it, but I don't want to touch it. Now that this is pretty well mixed up, I'm going to go ahead and add in everything that I'll be using. I don't have any particular measurements. Kind of just do this all to taste, and it'll be so good. The first thing I like to do is use breadcrumbs. Some people use Italian breadcrumbs, but I stick with plain. And I kind of just eyeball it. That looks about right. The next thing I'm going to add in, which I did measure, is a little more than 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. This is 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to use 2 eggs. And I always say this in the recipes that I share: salt and pepper to your taste. This is one of my favorite ways to make homemade meatballs because it's very easy, and I absolutely love slow cooker or crock pot cooking. And when you make your meatballs at home, you know exactly what you're putting in them. And a lot of times it is easier to use the store-bought packaged meatballs, but if you look at the ingredients, just stop and look at them. You'll be surprised at everything you find listed in the ingredients section. Now, after I get this seasoned, I'm going to go ahead and get everything mixed up. I'm going to get these rolled into dinner-sized balls, and I'll get going on how I do the sauce.
I don't think we got enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. covered. Was gonna patch up all the scars, but we smashed up all the parts. Oh na na na. Always knew that you were stubborn, but didn't know it'd be so hard to figure out who you really are. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby, going down, 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 down. Baby.
Okay, after, for the life of me, not being able to find my kitchen gloves and having to touch this raw meat, I've cringed 10,000 times, but I did get the meatballs made up, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I put the sauce together. Like I said, I do have a recipe for homemade pasta sauce, and I'll be more than happy to do a video on how I make it. Just leave me a comment if you wanna see that. But in the meantime, for a midweek dinner, I like to use a can of diced tomatoes, and this has basil, garlic, and oregano. Just pour it right over the meatballs. But you use any type of diced tomatoes that you want. I like to use 1 jar of Classico pasta sauce. This has tomato and basil, but of course you use any kind of pasta sauce that you want. This just happens to be my family's favorite. And the last thing I like to do is sprinkle in some fresh parsley. Once I get this parsley put in, I'm going to go ahead and put the top on my slow cooker. I like to let this crock on high for 4.5 hours. When all of this gets melded together, it will be delicious. Stick around.
Say something meaningful, say something I don't know.
Okay, let's get started on that DIY watermelon lip scrub. This is so much fun for me to make. Even though I'm a boy mom and I'm the only girl in my house, I still have a lot of fun making this. Now, if you do have little girls or granddaughters or nieces, the possibilities are endless, and it's so much fun to make this. Let's get started. First, you're going to need a whole cup of sugar. You're going to need about 1/2 cup of coconut oil. And you're going to need 2 packages of watermelon Kool-Aid. How simple is that? All you've got to do is get your ingredients combined into a bowl. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in those 2 packages of watermelon Kool-Aid. And like I said, the possibilities are endless. You could do basically any flavor you want. I just find that I like the watermelon flavor better. I'm going to go ahead and get this mixed up until it forms into clumps. Then I'm going to get it into some airtight containers. Stick around.
Nobody told me to settle down. Day nights and late nights don't get around. But there's something about you I like, about you I like. You're crazy for saying I should slow down, but maybe I'm escaping the love we found. There's something about you I like, about you I like. I get too drunk and too scared and lie to you. If only you knew I would die.
Oh, hey honey, I'm making my watermelon lip scrub.
Fantastic. I definitely need to use some of that.
What? You need to use some of this. This is my watermelon lip scrub.
I need to use some lip scrub.
Are you kidding me? You need to use this? Really?
I need to use some watermelon lip scrub.
We got some things to talk about. Why do you want to use this?
Well, see, it's performance review and raise time at work, and I really need to be kissing some